morning. Hello, everyone. I've turned on the camera without really thinking exactly what I was going to say. That's a terrible beginning. But I am sitting at the sewing machine. Oh, well, it's draped with fabric. It's draped with this fabric. This is just some thrift store fabric I found. And I was looking for fabric to make a tree skirt for the Christmas tree at our church, because here's a little picture of the Christmas tree that we've decorated, but it has no skirt and it has no angel or star or anything on the top. I think somebody else is going to take care of the top, but I volunteered to make a tree skirt. So I looked through my yarn stash and found this fabric. Much of my fabric from the thrift store is other people's little pieces from their quilting, so it'll be like a half a yard or something, but this piece was bigger. So I just used a Sharpie marker and some twine and a pin and, set a point here and just ran a Sharpie line. You can see where the Sharpie line is on the outside, to give me a nice consistent roundness there. And then I'll cut a space so we can put it around the tree, obviously. And then I'll run a hem and cut an opening here. Hope it's big enough. It'll have to be what it is. It's better than nothing. So I'm going to do that this morning. Some sewing projects are quite simple, and that's one of them. The other thing you see here, and I'll share a little clip of it, are some plant starts. And I went to our local nursery, lovely place, and decided on a whim to get a packet of collard seeds, because the lady there said that I could start them inside here this winter and put them out when they're very well established. And Adam hopefully is going to build a cold frame for me, and I can put them in the cold frame because he loves collards. So they are popping up after just like 3 days. I'm amazed at how well they're doing. And this is one of the few sunny windows in our house. We have a rather dark and shady house, but this one faces east, and so I'm keeping some water over here. I'm doing this. You have to be gentle with seedlings, and I'm just getting a little bit of water and putting it in each one. And then I also spray them. I'm always worried that spraying is not quite enough. It doesn't give them quite enough water. So there they are, but they are taking up a good bit of room in the studio on my sewing table, which is in front of this window. And I have to be very careful that the cat doesn't get up there. It is time to go cut my comfrey leaves before my comfrey comfrey plant just dies off for the winter. And I'm going to make some more salve to last through the winter. So let's go look at it. You can see that some of the bottom leaves are really starting to look very tired, and some of them have already died off, the underneath ones. Look at some of those. But the ones on top are still lovely and green, and those are the ones I'm going to harvest. I'm just hanging out with my chickens, that's all. Hello, Brownie. Hello, Henny Penny. Hello, Dandy. Mr. Sparky. There's Sheena. And there's Pepper and Cocoa Melon. They are standing near me because they think I have treats for them, but I don't. So I'm faking them out. Y'all about ready to go to bed? Hope so. They have not been laying many eggs lately, although it's better than it was. Oh, there's 2 today. There were none yesterday. There we go. Okay, now I know this is not enough batting for the whole 360. It's enough for 180. And I'm going to start with that and probably piece together. This is from the thrift store as well. I thought about doing it just as a single layer of fabric, but I don't think that would drape very well around the tree stand. So we're going to start. Oh, that looks like a poodle skirt, doesn't it? Isn't that exciting? Okay, so that's the next step, is to at least get this pinned on to what will be kind of the side of the skirt, the part of the skirt that shows in front of the tree. The part with the slit will be in the back, so it's even less important. But I'll go ahead and work on getting this pinned. And then I'll bring you back when I get the batting done and have picked out the backing fabric and are a little further along. And I'll show you how I'm going to do I mean, when I say quilting, I use that term very roughly. It'll just be some up and down stitching to hold everything together. Oh, that's going to do nicely though. So that's it so far. I've never made a Christmas tree skirt before, and I've never done this kind of thing before, so I really don't know what I'm doing. But when I say I'm piecing these other quarters of the 360 of the skirt, I really mean that. I had a nice big panel for here, and I trimmed it. It did meet. And then I've got a chunk up here, and now I'm about to flip this over and use the right side of this fabric as a guide for cutting this edge. And then I've got one other edge that I need to trim with it flipped the other way. Then I'll work on piecing the last quarter of the skirt. I do have some more of this, and you know, it may well be enough to do that last quarter. Well, I don't know what Bubba's barking at because it's not time for his daddy to come home yet, but he's probably barking at leaves outside. So now I'm gonna trim this little bit right here. Oh, we could be getting a package though. The UPS guy comes this time of day, or the Amazon guy, or the FedEx guy. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this little bit here, and then I'll work on that last quarter. Oh, here he comes. I better go say hello. So here's that last quarter. I've got the rest of it draped over there. I'm going to pick a nice big chunk of this that will meet up with this entire line. And then I'm going to make sure that it just covers this curve here. Okay. I'm not going to be too fussy about whether this, I would call this felt. I mean, it's not wool felt, but you know, it feels just like that, the kind of felt you use to make little animals and stuff for Sunday school lessons or whatever. You know what I mean. Anyway, but I think that this is probably the most fiddly part. And once I get this cut and pinned down and find some backing fabric, I'll be good to go. And then I'll have to, then I really only have to find a piece for this over here. Now I'm not going to try to do this on this side. I'm going to flip it over and use the fabric as my guide. Oh yeah, I'm going to have plenty. Okay, so one more piece. Let me see which one of these might do the best. That one's too narrow. That one is too short. That one would be just right. Wish I could. All sewn together. Okay, let's trim this up. And boy, that'll be nice to get that part done, won't it? Now, I'm starting in the center of the skirt and just doing some straight radiating seams from the neck. I'll call that the neck or the waist or whatever you want to call it. And that's the quilting. And then I'll trim up this batting again when I get done. As you see, like here, it's sticking out. And I'm not going to be too picky about, you know, whether they're all straight or whatever. And you won't be able to see the stitching really with how busy this fabric is, so I'm not going to worry about that either. Those are chocolates. Okay, now I have sewn the batting to the skirt front. I just wanted you to see. Can you, yeah, you can see almost all of it. Good, good, good. You can see the slit. Okay, that I did first. Now, and you can't really see the stitching at all on that fabric. And then let me show you the back and how, or the batting, I guess I should say, and how it turned out. Now, the front of the skirt is all one piece of batting, which is nice. There's no breaks in it. This back of the skirt where the slit is has been pieced. You can see this side is a bit more perfect. This one I ended up getting a little wonky space, but none of that's going to really matter very much. Actually, that doesn't look very big on the camera, but it's about a 1/2 inch gap there. Okay, let me show you the fabric I have for the backing. When I went looking through my huge stash of scraps, which is what I have, the only piece of fabric that I had that was big enough really was this. Not it's a light mauve, kind of pink, but it kind of has a gauzy, I don't know, a fake linen look. I'm just going to attach it right sides together, so all the way around, leaving a hole that I can get my hand in, and then turn it, and we'll see what it looks like then. Okay, I am gone for literally a 1.5 minutes, and my tree skirt is on the floor covered by 2 cats. Okay, so let's make a little sandwich, shall we? Time to sew our sandwich together. The fitting of the front and the back was a little hairier than I expected because apparently I did not cut a real true circle when I did my little Sharpie thing at the beginning. It was a little bit more oblong, and so I didn't match up my front and back perfectly, and anyway, but we will get there. We will get there. Well, that's a bad cut. Anyway, it will all be covered up by seams, and hopefully we will end up with a pretty skirt when we're done. Let's go. So. At last I'm to a slightly easier part. I've turned it and closed everything up. Here it is so far. And now you see what the edge looks like now, kind of poofy. So I'm putting a border all the way around to keep everything down. I don't think I'll need to do any quilting in the middle, but we'll see after I get it all done. I had some very rough couple of parts in there. One along the neck where I, for some reason, had not caught the lining, the backing, and it's too confusing to tell you all the mistakes I made, but I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. Now I'm just doing a little 1/4 inch edging stitch here, mostly because I want to keep this pink tucked under. I don't really want it to be poofing out. And oh, look, somebody's come to say hello. Oh, now he's leaving. Bye, Leo. Anyway, that's the main purpose of this, is to keep the pink underneath where it belongs. I'm gonna take out my tree skirt and put this new one down on our tree at home to see if it works and what it looks like. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's plenty big enough. Matter of fact, I think it's actually bigger, a little bit bigger than my current tree skirt, which I do love. It's a thick wool. I really love it. Actually, I think that's the back. If there's a back or front. So I do love it, but this is really fun. Now it does go all the way around. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even get the back of it flipped, but at church I'll work a little harder. Love the pine cones. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so there is the tree skirt. This was a bigger project than I thought. I think when I decided to make a quilt sandwich, yeah, it turned into something. But that's okay. Well, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.